There's a place I still see more clearly than some of the houses I grew up in. A stretch of woods on the rice land in Pelican Lake, Wisconsin, along the second road near Pedro Creek, where the forest seemed to close in and drink the light. The road itself was nothing special, just a sandy northern Wisconsin track, rutted from logging trucks and spring thaw. But once you headed down it, something changed. The tamarack swamp opened briefly on the right, and then the forest tightened. The pines grew taller, straighter, older. Hemlocks leaned in from the low ground, their branches drooping like they were listening. As a kid, I didn't have the words for it. I just knew that when we walked that road, the trees looked like pillars in some ancient hall. The forest felt older than anything I knew. Older than the road, older than the cabin, older even than the stories the old-timers told about the first logging camps. It had a gravity to it, a hush. Pedro Creek ran just out of sight, but you could hear it if you stopped and listened. A soft, steady sound, like someone whispering secrets just beyond the tree line. The creek cut through cedar and black spruce. Even in July, the shade there felt like early spring. There was a bend in the road where the forest grew darkest. The pines on both sides leaned inward, their crowns knitting together so tightly that sunlight only came through in thin, shifting threads. The ground was soft with decades of needles and nearly bare. Just a few ferns, a fallen log, maybe a patch of moss glowing faintly where a beam of light found it. It was the kind of place where you could hear your own heartbeat if you stood still long enough. I remember one time in particular. I must have been 14 or 15. It was during the November deer hunt, and there was a lot of snow. I walked down the second road and wandered only a few steps into the trees, drawn by that strange quiet. The forest swallowed the sound almost immediately. It was like stepping into another world. The air felt heavy, but not in a frightening way. More like the forest was holding its breath, waiting. I could hear Pedro Creek somewhere out there, trickling over stones. A crow's harsh, and then the silence folded back in. I remember thinking that if I walked just a little further, I might find something ancient. An old pine stump from before the cutover, or a deer trail worn into the earth long before I was born. But I didn't go far. Kids know when they've reached the edge of something sacred. I sat beside a tree, letting the dimness settle around me. I felt as if the forest was letting me touch a fragment of its ancient memory, and felt a great peace in its presence. After some time, I turned back toward the road and felt the quiet ache of leaving something ancient behind. Years later, that stretch of forest was clear-cut. I felt it like a personal loss. They had owned a piece of me. They were part of the landscape that shaped my sense of what a forest should be. Quiet, dignified, a little mysterious. A place where time moved differently. Sometimes when I think back on Pelican Lake, it's not the lake, the fishing or hunting. It's that dark stretch of forest along the second road. The way the pines rose like columns, the way the hemlocks whispered, the way Pedro Creek murmured just out of sight, the way the light thinned and softened as if the forest were gathering it up for safekeeping. And I realize now that what I felt there was reverence. Even as a kid, I knew I was standing in the remnant of something grand, something that had survived storms, fires, and the long, hungry years of logging, something that remembered what northern Wisconsin once was. When I close my eyes, I can still walk that road. I can still smell the needles and see a picture of the forest in my mind. I can still hear the creek. I can still feel the cool breath of hemlocks on my skin. And for a moment, the forest is whole again.